Coming up on Look Today, will a team of archaeologists dig for historic artifacts that date back, you ready, to the American Revolutionary War? I've got details. And an unfortunate tragedy occurred at the Log Bay Day event in Lake George. I've got details on that. Plus, the Glens Falls Open Door Mission will purchase a new home for its services. This is all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. In tonight's program I sit down with Virginia Freddo. She's the owner and designer for Razimus Jewelry. She's here to talk about her art and environmentally sustainable crafts. And Drew Wardle, yes, our very own Drew Wardle, is going to host our new segment called A Look at Music. He sits down with Brian Michael, who's the owner of Hetty Productions. He's here to talk about the upcoming GEM Festival, which is happening in Glens Falls this Saturday. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, a team of archaeologists dug for artifacts at the Lake George Battlefield Park. Now, Dr. David Starbuck led the team of 19 archaeologists. The team consists of volunteers and students from all over the world. They focused on digging the inside walls of Fort George, as well as the surrounding area, which they believe to have been an old barracks. Now, the area played a strategic role in both the American Revolution and the French and Indian Wars. Well, we spoke to Doug Schmidt. He's the chief of the dig site.
This is our third year of digging here, mainly on the Bastion area, which was the old fort called Fort George. We have dug in the past couple years some other areas around the area, but this year we're concentrating on finding out what was in this bastion. Last year, I said we found 3 rooms that were probably the casement or the armory. They show up on the map pretty close to that. This year we're trying to find some of the other structures, including what we think was about a 50-foot by 20-foot barracks.
Wasn't Doug in ZZ Top? Artifacts that are found from the dig get taken to a lab near Fort William Henry, where the objects are identified. Well, we spoke to Dave Starbuck. He's a professor at SUNY Adirondack.
We're delighted to be here in the Lake George Battlefield Park. And of course, this is the 26th year that SUNY Adirondack has sponsored local archaeological digs. SUNY Adirondack began hosting military digs in 1991. And here we are in 2016. And SUNY Adirondack is still leading the way with local archaeology.
This is exciting stuff. Hey, in other news, Log Bay Day in Lake George took place yesterday. The annual event, held the last Monday in July, draws thousands of people to the east side of the lake. Many boats could be seen floating near the shore, including many police patrol boats. Well, we spoke to Rich Kober about the event.
Well, the weather this year for Log Bay Day, it's raining. The crowd seems to be considerably less than what it has been in past years when the weather has been sunny, and more people have been out in Log Bay Day celebrating.
Now, usually everything goes okay, but we're very sorry to report that this year, a 9-year-old girl passed away due to injuries caused by boat accident. Now, the accident did occur around 9:30 p.m. near Kramer Point. An investigation is still ongoing. We'll give you updates as we gather more details. Our condolences go to her family. Switching from news to weather. Well, chance of thunderstorms are still likely, with some overcast skies. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. In other news, well, the Glens Falls Open Door Mission will purchase an old furniture building located on Warren Street in Glens Falls. Now, in the recent months, the mission was in search for more space to provide for the area's homeless population. Now, the new space will include extended services for guests, such as a resource center and a dining hall. Well, we're in touch with Kim Cook. Now, as you know, she's a director of the mission, and we'll get an update on this story when we talk to her. Up next, I sit down with Virginia Freddo. She's the owner and designer of Razimus Jewelry. She's here to talk about her art and environmentally sustainable crafts. Good interview. Plus, Drew Wardle, yes, our very own Drew Wardle, is going to host, try saying that 3 times fast, a new segment called A Look at Music. He sits down with Brian Michael, who's the owner of Hetty Productions, to talk about the upcoming Gem Festival happening in Glens Falls this Saturday. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea. How about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. I got a couple of lookouts tonight. First one goes to Dr. David Starbuck. You might recall we interviewed him, my God, it must have been a couple of months ago, about this dig in Lake George around the fort. And I just want to compliment him and his team for what they're doing with this dig. You know, from a sense of history, it's not only important, but it's amazing, right? And the second lookout goes to a buddy of mine next door at Gaffney's, Glenn. I see Glenn every single day, and Glenn had the shirt of the day. He had this insane-looking tie-dyed T-shirt on, and anybody that's been at Gaffney's knows Glenn, but this is the first time I've ever seen him with this tie-dyed T-shirt. So he gets the other lookout. Tonight on Look TV, it's a Queensbury Town Board meeting. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.